Let's continue learning about positive and negative integers. As we continue to learn and think about positive and negative integers, remember that those integers in those sets of numbers include 0, all the positive integers like 1, 2, 3, etc., and -1, -2, -3. And then so we have our sets of positive integers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, those whole numbers that are greater than 0. We have our set of negative integers, those opposites of those whole numbers, and we have 0. All of those, again, are our integers. Now, the type of problem that we're going to go ahead and work with today is like this here, where we have -2, and we add 1 to -2, and then their answer to that is going to be -1. In words, this would be +1. That would be 1 more than -2. And so this is the type of problem right here, 1 more than -2, that we will work with today. And a number line could help you solve this problem. We'll start at -2, and if we say 1 more than -2, we're going 1 more, which would be to the right. +1 is towards the right on a number line. That's why we only move 1 unit away, because it says +1. So -2 plus 1, our new location would be -1, and that's why we have that answer there. Let's take a look at some more. Again, we have this problem 4 more than -2. If they did not give you a number line, go ahead and draw one. 4 more than -2, we'll start at -2. If we're going 4 more than that, then we are going to go to the right on the number line. And so to the right of -2, counting up from there, would be -1. And then it would be 0. And then it would be 1. I'll continue labeling as I have here. 4 more than -2, start at -2. And it says 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll end up at 2. 4 more than -2 is 2. And that's our answer right there. A very common mistake is to actually try to count -2. And then so you would say 1, 2, 3, 4. You would actually end up with your answer as 1. But the way that you do it, 4 more, you have to travel away from that -2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 more than -2. The number sentence and the math sentence that would go with this is we would start at -2. 4 more than -2 would be adding 4. And that's why we move to the right on the number line there. -2 plus 4 is 2. That's the appropriate number sentence that we would put for the words here, for those words there. I have another one here, 6 more than -9. And then so when I'm drawing my number line, I'm not going to start labeling where I write 0 here and then start labeling to try and get down to -9. It's much easier for me to start at -9 and to count up from there, go up further from there. So to go -9 and counting up further, oftentimes students might label this -10. Really, it's -8 as we're getting more positive, -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2. This should be enough. It says 6 more than -9. So let's think and let's take a look. We'll start at -9, and it says 6 more. Remember that it would be add 6 to that -9 towards the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 more than -9 is -3. So -9 plus 6 is -3. In a way, this makes sense in that we're only adding 6 to a -9. So we're only adding 6 to that -9. Oftentimes, student might say, if they were just shown this here, they might say, oh, that's -15. that cannot be the case, because if we are adding a positive number here, and that's what this is showing right here, this is a positive number right here, we're adding that to that negative number, the number is going to be less negative. To become less negative, that's why the -3 here. You go ahead and try 4 more than -8, 7 more than -3. Draw number lines to help you solve these problems. Go ahead and hit pause. For the first one there, we'll start at -8. 4 more than that is +4. -8 plus 4 is -4. 7 more than -3. And I'll show you another approach that sometimes I'll take to explain this here. I start counting up from -3. -2, -1, 0. That's 1, 2, 3. And then it's 1, run out of room again, 2, 3, and 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's why that there is 4. -3 plus 7 does equal 4. Those are those number sentences that go with those words. If you did not write those number sentences to go with those words, please pause the video and take a moment to write those down, or even check your work. Here's another type of problem we might face. You'll notice now we're saying less than. 7 less than -2. Now if we were to write a number sentence for this, less than -2, we'll start with the -2 as before, and instead of adding 7, we'll go ahead and subtract 7 because it says less than. Now when we're subtracting, we know that we go to the left or the right on the number line. You end up going to the left on the number line instead of towards the right. So in this case, I'll put the -2 over here, since we're going to go to the left on our number line. As we continue to go to the left on the number line, do the numbers get, the numbers will get more negative, is what it comes down to. And then so when they get more negative, this is how it looks. -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, and it would go on from there. Now I needed to label that many of them because it says 7 less than -2. So I started here. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. -2 minus 7 is -9. It does make sense to me when I look at this number sentence. I'm going even further negative, and if I started at -2, I'm going even further negative. And that's why this number here, that 9, is what it is with that negative sign. Put that negative sign there, it's a number that is even more negative than -2. I might also be faced with a problem like this, 5 less than 2. And then so 5 less than 2, I'll start at 2, and I will go 5 less than that. So again, I go towards the left. So 2 units to the left, 1, 0. I'm at 0 at that point, meaning I'm going to go into those negative numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I could count them out first and then label them if I needed to. And I know those are our negative integers. That's why making and understanding how to make a number line is just as important as being able to use that number line. 5 less than 2, again, that's 1 unit away. 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 less than -2. Oh, that's -3. That's -3. Writing that as a number sentence, that's 2 minus 5 equals -3. What we will learn is that you can actually write this in this manner as well. So adding a negative number is the same as just subtracting that same number. minus 5 is the same as saying plus negative 5. 2 plus negative 5 equals negative 3. Alright, here's a couple of problems for you. Do not get confused. I changed the wording where it says 3 fewer than negative 1. It's the same as saying less than. Go ahead and pause the video and solve these problems for yourself. Use a number line if you need to. Really, you should as you're learning this. Ideally, you wrote out those number sentences well, where we start with 4 there, and then we're subtracting 6. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. 3 fewer than negative 1, we start with negative 1. We subtract 3 from there, and we would get negative 4. If I draw that out for you to show you that work that you should have to support that answer, again, we started at negative 1, and fewer is in this direction here. That's negative 2, negative 3, and negative 4. 1, 2, and 3 fewer. Again, common mistake, don't do it, is to not count properly. You start counting, you're all, oh, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. 3 fewer than negative 1 is negative 3. No. You start at negative 1, one way, negative 2, negative 3, and negative 4. And here's that number sentence again to support that. Alright, let's go ahead and review. We have this, what we were just going over, where it says fewer than. So 5 fewer than negative 1. 5 fewer than negative 1 could be rewritten as a mathematical sentence where we start with negative 1 or 5. Negative 1, right. And we're saying fewer than, so we're going to go ahead and add or subtract. It is subtract. Subtract what? 5. Technically, you could say even adding a negative 5. And we'll continue to look at different things like that. So 5 fewer than negative 1. So that's counting down from there. Negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, and negative 6. Sometimes I use my fingers to help me count there. That's 1 away, 2 away, 3 away, 4 away, and 5 away to help me count. Now when we say more than, we are going towards the right on that number line. So are we starting at 6 or negative 3? We're starting at negative 3, and we're going 6 away from there. When we go 6 away and we're going in this direction on the number line, what sort of numbers do we start seeing over here? This is labeled negative what? 2, and then negative 1, and then it is 0, then 1, then 2. I think we need at least a few more. We'll go right 3, and then there's 4 as well. I know that we don't need that, but I will show it to you. So start at negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 more than negative 3 is 3. Can you think of the mathematical sentence that you would write and that equation that you could write to represent what it is that those words show? 6 more than negative 3? Did you say negative 3 plus 6 and then with the answer equaling 3? Hopefully you did. That was our review. More with those positive and negative integers.